What is up, chat? How you guys doing, man? The big kahuna today. Fucking state of play. So awesome, wasn't it?
Oh, that happened.
It was so. I didn't sleep at all during that. I wasn't yawning. I wasn't like turning this shit
all
off.
night, man, and I was ready, and I was to watch it because they're gonna invent all this shit, and it was 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
I actually thought it was gonna be like a half an hour or like 40 minutes or something.
No, you know what I thought? Actually, it's funny you thought that. You know what I thought? That was actually gonna be fucking, interesting. It's the state of play. You know how many fucking properties Sony has, and like that literally had fucking. Do
you know how many state of plays they've done and none of them have been good? At least Nintendo Direct, there's at least one or two good ones at some point in the entire thing.
So I could have sworn something happened after that because I was like, man, that sucks. And then I remember
something?
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. Go ahead.
No, because what was I gonna say? I don't know. Oh, Gene, yeah, I saw your message earlier today, by the way, dude, in the fucking on the post. He got a big kick out of me accidentally fucking up and being like, yeah, Superman and Louis C.K. fucking stupid ass. Tex-Mex Bat enjoying a crispy Popeye's chicken. Guto na rend. I don't know what that means, but thank you very much for being over here, bad boy. I really appreciate your well, it's not tardiness. It's just what do you call that? Like the vice versa of that.
On time.
No, but there's a word for it. There's like a nice, like, attendance. There you go. You have really great attendance. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you so fucking much. But the thing is, though, is I remember when I was upset about it, I was like, oh, man, it kind of sucks. And then Jet says something like, what are you expecting? Well, what the fuck do you think I'm expecting? You know how many goddamn state of plays there's been that everyone talks shit about, but they were awesome, Jet? Like, I'm telling you, I'm telling the truth. What?
Every one of them is in trash. There's not been a single good one. The only one time that Sony did something that was somewhat like, okay, I enjoyed it, was when they did the where they were going to reveal the console at the end, and they had a lot of really interesting games. A lot of them came here to get release dates, I think. I know there's at least one or two that got definitive release dates, but like that was the only time where I'm like, oh, you did game after game of stuff that looked interesting that was going to come out soon. But after that, it's like most of it has been like, yo, you guys like you're still the Nintendo Direct, but at least with Nintendo Direct, they have release dates for a lot of these stuff. So even if you're like, oh, this is some bullshit, but like, hey, a lot of these games, they're coming out in the next 6-7 months. Cool, have fun. We'll see you in a month and a half before we do the same thing again. With this, it's like, we got like 3 release dates, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, they showed more Knockout City, which I was actually pretty happy about that. I thought that, like, hey, man, don't let Nintendo do the only, stuff with that. But like, I don't know, man. Jed, I'm going to give you a chance to kind of express yourself here because I could have sworn, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you told me, like, oh, well, what the fuck were you expecting? But, like, yeah, I mean, you've seen Valiant State of Plays before, right, Jet?
For, like 1 or 2 games?
What, you mean, like, just this last presentation? You're talking about, like, in all of State of Play stuff? Because I feel like you're kind of, like, lying a little bit here. Like, there's
like 1 or 2 games. Like, the thing about this is, like, when I say 1 or 2 games, like, they just keep showing the same games over and over again. They showed Deathloop like 3 times already. Either release it or don't.
Yeah.
Or at least give them
a release date on it.
Yeah, no release date still.
No, because like one of the things that I'm looking at really quick is like, and this already has come out, even though they kind of released some more shit today about it. But like, I remember when everyone freaked the fuck out about Final Fantasy VII being showcased at a State of Play thing, and then let's not get started on Crash 4. That was fucking huge. Everyone freaked the fuck out.
But the thing is, we already knew that was gonna come out. Like they didn't show anything new.
Well, no, I'm saying like other State of Plays. But like as far as like this State of Play, I guess we'll talk about this State of Play. It's like, yeah, no, this was a bad one, but it's just in comparison to lots of others. I feel like, there's a reason for me to expect so much more, especially when it comes to like Capcom stuff. They didn't even show up this fucking time. I was like, dude,
which
what
is
the
weird
fuck
because I expected them to show something in regards to it. Because like the reason when I was like, if you were to ask me, hey, what was the State of Play about? I'm like, okay, this is gonna be release dates for a lot of major stuff that's either coming out this year or next year. But I'm like, they already did a lot of showcasing with REA, but I'm like, hey, you got to show PS5 specific stuff, right? I expected something like show me what is gonna run out of PS5 or whatever. It's coming out in like 3 months. But they didn't even do that. They showed me some of the games that I'm really interested in, but like it was like one of those things where it's like there was a couple titles that I kind of liked. It was cool. The best thing I say about State of Plays is they're so short you can't get mad. Like that last direct pissed me off because I waited 49 minutes to just be mad.
Yeah, I mean, like here's one thing I was kind of happy about, but at the same time kind of having some issues. But Kenna, what's it called again? Kenna the fucking
Kenna and the Revenant something or whatever.
Yeah,
Spider-Man pre-order bonus.
Bridge of Spirits, I remember it's called. If I was wrong, people let me know because I think I might be getting this fucked up with like Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks. I don't know, but like
only you would it ever come up.
But no, like this was actually a pretty cool thing. I mean, we've seen some kind of teaser or whatever footage before, or whatever. But like looking at this now was actually pretty neat. I'm trying to see the guys.
It looked fantastic. I fucking loved it. Honestly, I was like at first like, whatever. Get this character, cool, happy-go-lucky adventure. That combat, I'm like, okay, Sony presents Breath of the Wild, but you know what? I like it. I like the story. I like the world. It's gorgeous to look at. I love the combat. I like how it's like not like, oh, we're gonna be like Dark Souls. No, we're gonna be an actual like combat with like these monsters. I'm like, this is doing a lot of good stuff. It wasn't my favorite game out there, but it was like this one of the things where it's like, hey, I'm gonna get it. Like when I have my PS5, this is one of the games I'm gonna play.
Yeah, someone in the chat, JD Panda says, kind of looks great, like Zelda meets Pikmin. Jet, do you see any similarities as far as like the Pikmin stuff goes? Because I have no idea anything to do with Pikmin.
Wait, which game were we talking about?
Kenna, Bridge of, see, I'm fucking...
Bridge of Spies.
No, is that... Bridge of... Fuck! What's it called? Damn it! No! A Bridge of,
Kenna, Bridge of Spies, okay?
Spirit.
Damn it.
Do you feel like it's
Which one is it?
It's Bridge of Spirits. No, but the thing is, I was going to ask you, because someone in the chat, JD Panda, said something about, like, hey, this is kind of like Pikmin mixed with a couple other things, but, like, yeah, I'm looking at Pikmin here. Do you see any similarities, and do you feel like Pikmin is something that can be used, or elements from Pikmin can be used for newer games?
I mean, I guess I could sort of see where they're going with that. With, like, the small little things that basically help you out.
Yeah. No, I really want to see some gameplay of Pikmin. I actually want to play it one of these days. I think it was on GameCube, right?
Pikmin, when I was younger, like, fucked me up. Because you're literally throwing these dudes, like, straight up to die. Like, you're literally killing these things. So you got to be ready to make all these sacrifices because death is going to happen in that game no matter what. And you literally see their ghostly when they're getting all chomped up and shit. Just like, that is horrible.
Yeah, then over here, I don't know if this is going to have any of those kind of implements in here, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know what's really cool about this? Just looking at the trailer. I can imagine this will be a really great video game for somebody like at your house to watch you play. So it's like, you know, for families, you know, it could be one of those things where it's like, yo, there's so many great cutscenes and they're so like high grade. Like this looks like it could be a really good movie. Like, what's that movie? Ira and the something dragon.
Yeah, the dragon. Yeah. I honestly feel like they're almost the same thing. Where it's like we take two more than two strings and we're combining that movie to make this. But like, yeah, from a visual standpoint, you're seeing a lot of what the PS5 can do. Where it's like we're doing what essentially animated movies are doing now. Where it's like we're able to get the same kind of fidelity. We're able to say the frame rate is no longer an issue. We're able to get these movements that feel fluid, and it's no longer like we're blurring between cutscene and gameplay, which is always something that I like to see in a game.
Now, I'm going to talk about this really quick, too, because we'll move on from that very quickly. Final Fantasy has this thing called Remake Integrate. I don't know what that means because they are integrating like a new story with this character named Yoshi or Yoshi, whatever the fuck.
Yuki, and I'm not laughing because you got the name wrong. I'm laughing because Square Enix doesn't know how to name DLC.
Yeah, but like, well, I mean, we say I don't know how, but it's like that's obviously subjective. But I'm trying to think like, what could they go with, and even is this DLC? Like, what is this?
Well, okay, from what I saw from there, is it for people that play Final Fantasy 15? There are certain points in Final Fantasy 15 where a certain character says, "I'll be right back," or something happens where you get separated from your party, and there's like this long like it says like couple hours, couple days pass, and then you go through continue the campaign, you finish the story. And they essentially spin off those times to give the characters different stories. So what happened here is during, I think, one of the big first bosses, I think either right before or right after you blow up one of the places, and it's essentially like you cut the bridge, and you do lose time in that game. There's a time where it's like a couple days pass. I think that's when he meets Aerith or whatever. There's a time in Final Fantasy VII Remake where they don't know where Cloud is. So what they're doing is like, hey, during that time, we have this pocket adventure that's going to lead into part 2, but isn't going to influence part 1. So it's like this little side story that is essentially happening parallel to the main story, and that's going to lead in so that they don't have to sit there and be like, well, part 2 is like, we can't sit there and spend 2/3 of the game explaining these characters. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a 10 to 15 hour campaign to get to know these characters, so that we integrate them into part 2, you already know what's going on.
Yeah, because like here's the thing, I noticed that there's definitely better fidelity as far as like the frames go and everything, but as far as like being able to see where the fuck I'm going, I kind of like the PlayStation 4 better. Like I mean, it looks so similar. I can't even really. I mean, I went like
it's
really
hard to
cheap.
tell, and you have to actually play because they're showing a lot of cutscenes and some walking stuff. You have to actually get your hands on it, and it's your TV. There's a lot of things. That's why I really hate gameplay comparison videos. I almost never. For me, they're all like to me they're meaningless to me because it's their specific hardware compared to another specific hardware at a specific point, and it's not actually someone playing. It's like a video almost they're playing. So it's like they're almost never indicative of what's actually happening. What you want to see is literally someone streaming it. And then compared to another person streaming.
That's actually the best thing that I've noticed from like the whole Cyberpunk situation and everything that goes to Project Red, where people are like, I don't trust gameplay videos anymore now. Like used to give a fuck about that, but now it's like I need to see some actual person playing it and fucking with the game and everything too. But yeah, man, you know, Jed, I'm gonna ask you. I know you didn't play the original, or not the original, but like the remake from last year. But what are you thinking about this whole Final Fantasy VII thing? I mean, are you interested in playing this, especially because the upgrade is free and whatnot, or what are you thinking about this?
Well, I mean, I already have it downloaded. I mean, I could play it at any point I want to. Just haven't gotten the time to.
Yeah, well, shit. I mean, if you had a download, that's perfect because now you can play in both PS4 and PS5. So it is a pretty cool thing. But now the biggest question here, and this is just me not paying attention, guys. I mean, I was watching this and also doing my own thing. But Alan, I'm gonna have you explain this to me. Is this just the first part of whatever is going to be coming out, or is there going to be like a second, like I don't know, like, you know, people are waiting for the second half. Is that happening here or no?
Oh no! What this is going to be is like, hey, part 2 might take 5 years.
That's really fucking annoying, dude.
Part 2 might take because again, part 1 took forever. This is going to be Final Fantasy VII going to be broken up in a while, and there's going to be a lot of shakeups. Thank you for following us.
Yeah,
Mary J from the last one.
Yeah,
nice from the last show. But basically what's happening is it's going to be a while between this and the next game, especially the fact that, guess what, a console came out, and we have to figure out like how we're going to do it for the new one, how we're going to make sure it runs on the old one, and we're going to take our time because we also have to combine a lot of Final Fantasy content. So it's a lot to basically like how we're going to cherry pick, how we're going to spread it out. This is to tide you over because it came out last year. They're not going to do yearly releases, but this is to tide you over because it might be 2 years. It might be 2023 before we see Final Fantasy VII Part 2. So they're like, hey, till then, you get some more content so that it doesn't feel like it's forever, so you guys can keep the hype up. And we're going to give you some, we're going to give you essentially a DLC. They might give you a second one. There might be a second small pack the next year to be like, hey, so you guys can keep it in your cultural, like, hey, this game still exists, because the biggest thing that'll kill a game, look at Bayonetta 3. People are like, Bayonetta who? Because that got announced like 5 years ago.
Yeah. And that's a weird thing that hasn't come more into fruition right now too. I feel like many people were expecting that. There was even leaks that came out that originally there was like some plans to reveal some kind of like extra teaser or whatever the fuck for the Nintendo Direct. So I really don't know what the fuck's going on with that. But here's the thing that I do know what the fuck's going on about. The whole trend of puppets have returned, motherfucker. We got good old.
If you were to bet me $1,000, if you were to bet me $1,000, hey, does Nick like Five Nights? I'd be like, oh, fuck no. It's jump scares. He talked so much shit about RE7. There's no way you're gonna fucking like it. And I'm like, wait, you're the only one in our chat that was excited.
I like how you said puppets when you mean animatronics.
That's what I'm going to say, animatronics. But see, that's the thing. I almost spoiled what I'm going to be saying, because here's the thing that I'm excited for, Alan. I'm excited that the world is this stupid again. I fucking hate these games.
Well,
I hate the fuck out of these games.
I was about to say, because we know this. We have a group chat, so we're always chatting and stuff. So we're watching the state of play. We're watching separately. Five Nights at Freddy comes up and he goes, "Oh boy!" I'm like, "What?"
I'm in a mood for it, man. Willy's Wonderland. I fucking love it.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. You just saw the fucking movie. So I'm like, that has to be it, right? But I'm like, look, I remember how much shit he talked about RE7 jump scares. Five Nights at Freddy's just jump scare the game. So I'm like, and this looks just like RE7 with the fucking fact that you're like no longer at a computer or whatever the fuck the games were.
That's the only thing I like about this. The fact that they had the most unrealistically successful mall ever. To have all these fucking, like, Chuck E. Cheese has never been this goddamn big. How the fuck we had that much free roam going on? But the thing is, though, is that we are finally doing something with this game. There's actually something that's happening here. And that was never the case with any of the other Five Nights at Freddy's games. That's why I'm like, dude, finally, Security Breach is here. It's going to give you some actual gameplay. So when you guys actually blow this shit up to be like the most amazing streaming fucking game to do, at least you're actually talking about something that's actually a thing. Unlike the stupid fucking mechanic where you just turn left, turn right, turn left. Whoa, I'm gonna. And by the way, I hated that shit where all the streamers online would play this like fucking 12 hours. Whoa, it scares me. You know what's gonna happen, you fucking
legitimately,
idiots.
That's when I stopped watching YouTube, when that was a thing.
Yeah, that shit used to get on my fucking nerves. Miles over there in chat saying the new setting looks pretty great, especially since you were in the office for most of the series. Yeah, man. Blah blah. Markiplier can be relevant again. Man, I hope that somebody else other than you does it.
PewDiePie is coming back. I don't want that. We don't need that darkness on the internet again, man.
Jay, what were you talking about?
I keep forgetting Markiplier exists because like Twitch streamers became so big to where it's just like I almost never hear Markiplier mentioned anymore, and he used to be like right next to PewDiePie.
Oh yeah, and definitely above Jacksepticeye. Jacksepticeye had to get big on his name, so it was strange. But I will say that Bleach Michael saying Alan better call some bullshit on his PlayStation Direct to put some respect on Nintendo Direct.
I'll say it for the chat for people that don't know. Yeah, this fucking state of play was terrible. So was that Nintendo Direct. How do you sit there and forget the 35th anniversary of Legend of Zelda?
But here's the thing: which one was worse?
Nintendo, because Nintendo forgot.
Oh, you are so full of shit.
How? It was longer, right? Like twice as much. Of course it was worse.
But it had No More Heroes and Skyward Sword. It's not
They
the
had
worst thing.
The 35th anniversary of Legend of Zelda, and they forgot about it and gave us Skyward Sword. This had nothing to live up to, and it didn't even reach that. So fuck it. This was trash. But we're talking about like a 0 versus like a 1. There's at least a game on here that was kind of cool.
I guess I'll let you know.
There was one game on here that was made specifically for me.
And we were gonna get to that soon. I think I know which one it is. I'm gonna call it out as soon as I get to it.
Yeah,
but Jet, what are your thoughts on that though?
But
Jet, which one, Nintendo Direct or State of Play? Which one was worse and why?
State of Play. The State of Play was just boring.
Yeah, that's
They're
what I
always
thought, too.
boring.
Yeah, they're both bad. Like we're not gonna do that, but like it is one of the situations where it's like it is. What
And
it
like
is.
the Nintendo one already gets a plus because it made Alan mad.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they
true.
announced the wrong game.
fuck you, Jet.
They still announced the game, but it wasn't the one he wanted. That was hilarious.
It was the worst one.
Of course, coming
It
right
was literally
back.
the worst one. Alrighty then. Yes, and yet
Maybe I need to play that game because that game doesn't look bad, and I always see people making fan art of it. It seems they like it.
well, I don't know. Like it's one of the things where people are like, "Oh, it's the motion controls." The motion controls weren't even the worst part of it. Yes, it was bad, and it attributed to a lot of the bad parts of the game. But I guess now since next on the phone call, I get to talk about how much. What's up?
Also, like it had No More Heroes 3, Splatoon 3, even though that announcement is kind of whack. Like it still had a way more.
It was worse because it had to live up to a lot more. It was longer. And honestly, like there were a couple of interesting stuff on there. The reason you know what? Maybe I'm biased. The reason I say it's worse is because I expected them to show some respect to the Legend of Zelda franchise.
And a Smash character too.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm not mad at the Smash character. I just think, hey, I mean, Smash doesn't have enough sword fighters, right? We need more sword fighters. But let's put Xeno Chronicles in to give Shulk a friend because he's a fucking loser. Yeah, I'll use Shulk.
Well, it's more just like they need to put more of their properties in there, and like if the game is like recent, like they're gonna put that character in there. Plus, they need more girls anyway.
I mean, that's fair. They do need more memorization. But as the fucking Austin Nick in the chat said, yeah, apparently the fucking triple pack we got was Ninja Gaiden because somebody fucking cares about Ninja Gaiden in this fucking day and age.
Or Gaiden.
Fuck it, I'm not pronouncing it properly.
It's one of the best legendary fucking characters in all of Nintendo and video game history. You're gonna call it the wrong fucking name? Yes, it is.
I don't even think they were on. I don't think that those games were ever even on Nintendo consoles.
Are you fucking? You are losing so much video game
Ninja
credit
Gaiden,
now.
the triple pack that they put. Those 3 games were never on Nintendo consoles. At least I don't think they were.
But the originals. I'm saying like
the original is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fucking.
I know, but you keep saying his name wrong, and that's the thing.
I don't
that's what we're talking
care.
about. You changing this.
I don't give a
changing
fuck.
The whole thing. I can't believe.
Fuck that game.
Lying
You know
son of a bitch.
Also, World's End Club during the Nintendo Direct looked good too. Like those Danganronpa games are actually pretty fun.
By the way, Bravely Default. That's another one.
Look, again, I already said that I might be biased that I think that the Nintendo Direct was worse because I had expectations that they would care about the longest running franchise. I guess I was fucking wrong. I thought they would care about a franchise that put them like that people talk alongside Mario, but I guess I was fucking wrong.
Thank you. No, the thing is, we're gonna move on to the next one over here. I'm getting sick and tired of this shit. Look, I was cool about Oddworld coming back and with Soulstorm and everything. That was kind of cool. But yeah, it's like, and tell me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna let you. You can go off on me, Alan, and tell me how much of a grumpy fucking dude I am. But it's like when I keep seeing the same game, show me the same gameplay, and even though
I'm tired of this dude's fucking Band-Aid mouth.
Yeah, me too.
I'm with you because at the end of the day, like the only Oddworld game I ever cared about was Stranger's Wrath, and it was fucking fun as hell. It was a first-person shooter. It was weird. It had an interesting twist. Like there's a lot of good stuff to that game. They never made a sequel. They're never gonna. They ported it to Switch and PC, but they're never gonna do a full remake of it. But it's like this is like those games back in the day where it's like, hey, get a bunch of. It's like almost like Pikmin. Get a bunch of random minions, solve a bunch of interesting looking puzzles. I'll give it that. But of course, they're giving it free on PlayStation Plus. because that's one of those bargain bin games you throw at the launch console to be like, hey, this is essentially a tech demo as a video game, which makes sense of giving it for free. But like, I mean, does it look fun? Yeah. If Nick has it on his PS5, he's like, you want to play this fucking shit while I edit a video for Corey? Sure, I'll play it for 10 fucking minutes and then forget it ever existed. But like, they keep showing because it's like, yeah, they need to fill time towards other more interesting stuff.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing about this. I'm just kind of like, look, it looks great, like I'm not, but like it's been looking great. Like it should be also it should be feeling great because we should already have it. We should be playing it. Like this is taking too long. And it's not some cyberpunk shit. This is fucking. I mean, I'm not saying it's super simple. It's probably really hard to make a game like this. Whatever. They're gonna have lots of things that they didn't have in the old games, but it's taking too fucking long. And it's like that's cool if it's gonna take long, but then show us something different. But they show us so much every single time it comes up in one of these fucking state of plays or whatever that I'm like, dude. Like, you're just kind of, like, doing the same old shit. It's like, I don't want this to be, like, Nukem Forever, where they kept showing us same things, and then it looked a little bit better, and looked a little bit better, and then all of a sudden, you get it 20 years after it's supposed to, and it's fucking boring and terrible, and what looked good before does not look good anymore because the shit's behind. It's like, yeah, I don't want that to happen with this game because it could be cool, but they need to fucking hurry up. They really need to get this shit out.
Exactly.
What do you call it? JP saying, I think Alan is the grumpy one. Yes, he definitely is when it comes to this stuff. By the way, Yasuba Fan, you're talking about Pokemon Direct tomorrow, and I didn't even know it was actually tomorrow. I thought it was going to be a Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a Pokemon Direct tomorrow.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah, it was announced either today or yesterday.
But I do want to ask you guys, would you guys be okay if I come out here, even if I'm not joined by everybody else, which I hope Jet will be able to at least, but like, would you guys be okay if I actually watch this on stream and just kind of leave it up on the screen and we can watch together? Because I would like to do that. But once again, it's like if I come on here and no one's here, that'll be fucking embarrassing. I'll just be in here like,
I mean,
that's cool.
I mean, you're talking to the chat? Yeah.
I mean, if you want to come here too, you can, talk while they wait, whatever. But like, yeah, would you be down to do that? I mean, are you interested enough in Pokemon?
I think that'd probably be better for you and Jet, just because. I mean, I honestly I really only played the completion of one Pokemon game, and that was like 15 years ago, so it's like I really don't know anything about this.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. But we'll probably do something like that. Jed, would you be down?
Possibly.
Okay, well then, nice. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Though. I mean, obviously, play by ear. Don't expect it, people, but just it's something that I might be doing. So keep a lookout on the Twitch and everything. Now, this is the game that I think was the one that you were like, oh, they finally made a game for me. Was that particular game Sifu?
Sifu. That game started off with saying this is specifically for Alan Shakazine. We made a game specifically for him. We looked into his high school and said when he said he wanted a game that was exactly like this, we decided to make it. Because if you were to ask me to design a video game and design a combat system, this is what I would have done. We're gonna do Old Boy / Daredevil / The Raid. I should have done it The Raid, the order in which the fucking hallway scene. And we're gonna do actual I also wasn't able to tell if this was gameplay or a fucking cutscene. But I'm like, this is exactly the kind of combat I've always wanted. I've always talked to buddy of mine. I'm like, why can't we make a combat like this? Like, will it be too hard? It's like, well, no, like do the same kind of stuff. You don't have to do the Batman kind of thing, but like you could do like the kind of cool shit where it's like, yeah, you're in a hallway and you're doing awesome stuff like that, and it's like they have different environments. I saw that. I'm like, that's purchased. Where's here money? Take it. I take all my
here's the thing.
money.
I'm gonna argue one thing. Is like because I was excited too, but I saw something like this. You know what game this is?
What?
Just I'm gonna let it play for a little bit. I just want until they show the character. I want to see if right away you go, oh, I know that game.
I guess I'm. Oh, sorry, I'm watching the wrong. What the fuck is that? Is that Jet Li's the one?
Okay, close. It is Jet Li. But what's the name of the game?
It's not the one. Oh my god. Oh my god, I know the game too. I know the game too. It's bothering me, but I can't get it.
Come on, dude.
This is the first game. This is the first game to ever have directional action. Oh my.
And I think John Woo did the whatever the fuck for this.
Troy
Gates remembers. Vice remember? Or no, I think he remembers. Oh man.
Oh
yeah.
my god, I don't remember it. I'm sorry.
It's Rise to Honor, bro.
Rise to Honor. Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah. I always wanted to play it, but I never had a PlayStation 2 at the time. Because it was one of those things where it's Jet Li, it's choreographed action. It was one of the first games to ever have a combat system like that. So it was really ahead of its time, and no one ever did anything like that. Where it's like Sleeping Dogs is kind of like that, but it's like a slower version of the Batman Arkham system. But this is very similar to that game, where it's like someone remembered that game existed, but it's like you don't get to see the combat you see is either Devil May Cry or Batman when it comes to choreographed action, where it's like you never get to see like, hey, we're gonna have it a bit slower and people like less like around a ring, and we're gonna do some interesting kung fu moves. But it's very hard to do that. But seeing this, I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. And I think they're having some weird. I'm not sure what kind of. yeah, it's a roguelike system where it's like either you're a different character or you age up or something. But like, I love the different environments because you went from a hallway to a nightclub to an office building. Hey, ask me what my 3 favorite places to fight are: hallway, nightclub, office building. Like this was made for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I'm so fucking hyped about this. But I will tell you, Jed, what do you think about the character models? Because that's something that kind of came to my vision here, and I'm wondering what Jed thinks because she's usually the go-to for that.
I don't know why you make me the go-to stuff for this stuff because I never know what I'm talking about.
Animation? You like a lot of animation?
Well, like
I like anime. The thing is, I like anime. I don't like all forms of animation. But anyway. But no, I think it looks different. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, no, she's trying to be nice. That's what it is.
No. Thing is, I know what you're gonna go for, but the thing is this is very specific because these are the guys that also made Absolver, which is the very I don't know how to describe it, very almost claymation type. It's an art style that they go.
Say, yeah. It's like polygonal, like Canadian.
Yeah.
God, what the fuck? What are they called? The guys who did Reboot and fucking Beast Wars again?
Yeah, Beastars.
I know.
Different show.
The people who did Beastars?
No.
It's Beast Wars.
Man, fuck y'all. Animation company. I'm gonna look this up really quick because
it's very like I know it's like at first I was like this kind of looks like Absolver. Then a buddy of ours was like, yeah, that's totally made by the same guys. I'm like, okay. Because again, it looks really good, and I like it. It's like, hey, go for simplistic. If you're giving me something cool, I'll always forgive people that are gonna downscale if it's gonna do something cool. And I've never seen a combat system quite like this, where it's like you're actually doing what I'm seeing in action movies, not just the whole thing where it's like you're doing one punch and the guy flies down the hallway. It's like we're doing actual choreography.
Yeah, by the way, the company I was thinking of is Mainframe Entertainment. They did so much shit back in the day. And I didn't even know, I guess they're not Canadian-based. It's just the show is Canadian-based. But yeah, they did Weird On, Shadow Warriors, Beast Machines, Action Man, Heavy Gear, lots of stuff back in the day. Even the Spider-Man anime series. So, yeah.
Which one?
It's just Spider-Man anime series.
Okay, because there's like 100 of them. So. I think I probably know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I know that one then.
Yeah, so it's just kind of cool that they did all those things. But like I'm looking at something like this, the fucking Sifu game or whatever, which I keep wanting to say seafood as people were saying in the chat. But it looks polygonal like that, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I do think that's like we just got Ghost of Tsushima, we got Sekiro, which by the way, no one brings up Sekiro because of Ghost of Tsushima, but Sekiro's fucking amazing too. Let's not forget how beautiful the game looks and how it plays, etc. But at the same time, it's like, now we got something like this, and it's not like Dark Souls. It's definitely different than Dark Souls. But I don't want this to kind of be the thing where it's like, oh, well, this is cool because it's the newest thing that came out, but, the fact that it doesn't look as good as anything else that's come out recently, we're just going to ignore those. It's like, no, like, there's things here that are not so great, but I'm seeing lots of people online talk about this, like, oh, shit, so fucking badass.
Well, it's also it's the roguelike element, but it's also a smaller developer where it's like, Ghost of whatever the fuck is a Sony exclusive made by a fairly large company. Same thing with Sekiro. Sekiro was made by From Software, who makes Souls games. Like this is like it's smaller. It's almost basically an indie game. But at the end of it, it's like people will like visuals are one thing, but it's like you don't really sell games on visuals as much as you used to. Where it's like do something interesting and do something different. And it's like, yeah, people are looking at essentially, again, people are looking at it the same way I look at it. They'll look at this like The Raid. They'll look at this like Daredevil. They're looking at this like Old Boy. They're like, we're getting a game based on that kind of combat where, again, the first thing you thought of was a game that came out in 2004. Because you didn't pull out Batman. You didn't pull out Spider-Man. You pulled out a game that's a good comparison. I never would have thought of that. But you went to the only other thing you could possibly think of. I never would have guessed that. If you would have asked me to name a combat system like this, I would have went with Sleeping Dogs, but that's completely different.
Yeah. But I mean, it makes... I would understand that reference, too. But yeah, like, I mean, it is somewhat different. But here's the biggest thing, too. Speaking of being... Well, I mean, we're talking about something being different. But this is something that's very, very similar, very, very familiar. And it's kind of an issue for me, but I'm going to play it. Especially based, I have no choice but to say I'll play it because then you guys will talk shit about something else I defended that we're going to talk about today as well. But this game right here, Returnal. Now, look.
What a terrible name.
Terrible name. The game looks fucking great. This looks fucking great.
Oh my god. It's amazing. By the way, this is a roguelike too. I knew this from the first... The title gave me away where they're like, oh yeah, and you have to keep resetting. It's a fucking roguelike. That's the definition of a roguelike. This just further proved it. But something that this had to show me, I'm like, how does it feel to shoot? And they start shooting, I'm like, okay, purchase. you already got it. Because to me, this again, we're talking about stuff that reminds me. You're right. This isn't really breaking the mold, but I'm okay with that because not every game needs to break a mold, but you have to look like you're fun to play. The dashing looks good. The shooting sounded and felt like it was good. The way the enemies took the bullets was, and that's really important in a shooter. It's like, how does it look? How does it sound when enemies are getting hit? And it sounds very, very well. And clearly, by the way, I'm spoiling this right now. This is all in her dreams. She's in some sort of hypnosis or some sort of coma from some accident. Because that house, I'm like, okay, they might as well spoil this entire fucking game because she's clearly going through some trauma because she's on like she's like a space person that got lost in space and she's in some sort of alien coma. That's what's explained the whole her being able to relive this shit because none of it is real. But the game looks fucking amazing. Like everything about it, from visuals to combat to level design, like it looks weird as fuck. Like that's the weird thing. Like it doesn't look like a normal place. Like it looks like you're inside of like a body at some points or some weird rock formations.
No, you're absolutely right. So this is what I'm gonna bring up here, sir. So I'm looking over here. See this?
Huh.
See this scene right here? Now this is still Returnal, right?
Are you trying to compare it to Death Space or?
No, I'm gonna compare it to something else that's pretty cool. Now tell me, is this still Eternal right here or no?
No.
What game is this?
That's Anthem.
Yes, exactly. Does this game not look exactly like fucking Anthem?
No,
it looks exactly
if you told me
like
the shooting, if you told me the shooting felt very similar, I'd be like, you know what? I can roll with you on that. That monster design is completely different, man.
I gotta tell you, because like for me, I would have looked at it and been like, oh, it's kind of cool, and it's a little familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. But because I was able to put my finger on it and be like, what the fuck? It's because earlier today I read this fucking thing.
Yeah. I'm about to say, did you hear about this?
Yeah, an update answer from Christian Daly from BioWare. He says, friends, in the spirit of transparency and closure, we wanted to share that we made the difficult decision to stop our production or new development work on the game. So yeah, dude, fucking sucks. Because here's the thing.
Now focus on Dragon Age and.
That's exactly what they cited. They cited we want to focus on Mass Effect and Dragon Age, so we're actually killing Anthem. And unfortunately, this adds a long list, guys. This is a PSA for everybody that's going out because Outriders just released their demo. Every single live game service game has failed its launch. Every single one. There's never been a successful games as a service launch. Anthem was the most recent one to die. Fallout 76, Warframe, Rainbow Six Siege, Destiny. That is 5 in a row. Avengers.
Did Disney do bad? Because people still play that.
Yeah,
No. Destiny did terrible because when it launched, it wrote out the success of Bungie. And it was like, hey, Bungie's doing something new and interesting. But the problem is the content, the story, and much of the actual outside the main story gameplay just fell fucking flat. So its fucking subscriptions just died, like almost like within months. Where I was literally getting emails saying, hey, this is why you should come back to Destiny, yada yada. So then they released Destiny 2. And eventually get out of Activision's grip, but it did not do well because people were burnt out from Destiny 1. Eventually went free to play, and they're doing a decent success, but that game fucking crashed and burned. Anthem just died. Marvel's Avengers might have a second life with the new consoles. Warframe and Rainbow Six pulled themselves out of despair, but every single one of them is launched. So I'm going to say this right now. Don't buy Outriders. Wait 6 months. Do not buy that game when it comes out because it's going to crash. I might be pulling a Nick right now, but do not buy that game when it launches. I'm not going to because I bought enough of these games that fucking die. Anthem was fun as hell. I really enjoyed Avengers. I don't even know if that game's going to survive 6 months.
Yeah, neither do I. Yeah, I don't think it will. I mean, and by the way, it's like I didn't like it. It wasn't fun for me, but I could see how it'd be fun for so many other people. And it just, people are maybe starting to wise up, or maybe it just was a bad year. I don't know.
No, it's actually not. It has nothing to do with that. Fallout 76 was just a garbage fire of bugs and not compatible. The Anthem has the exact same problem as Avengers did. Is this is a games as a service, but you didn't put enough content for people to actually enjoy it. You put like a half decent campaign, but the problem is people will probably beat that in an afternoon or a weekend. But the promise of a games for service is you buy the game and eventually they keep adding in DLC. They keep adding in new things for you to do with your friends. Both those games failed to put out that content. So within the first month, their subscriptions just went down the drain because no one's going to buy the game anymore if there's nothing to play.
Yeah. No, man. But like I said, dude, like I'm looking at the whole situation here, and Returnal looks fucking great. You know,
Yep.
like, you know, just to put that out there, it's like I'm not trying to be a dick. Like, oh, well, it's bad since everyone's liking it. No, this looks like. Because I'm gonna buy this right away. Just to put that out there. Like I almost want to pre-order, but I'm gonna wait. I'll buy it the day.
But you want a direct comparison? This reminds me of Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, I know. I
With
never played that, but I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that's all good. I'm cutting you off as well, but just excited because I like Risk of Rain 2. It's a third-person roguelike. You don't really get them. They're usually 2D hack and slash or 2D games. But actually, they're mostly 2D. Roguelikes have almost been exclusively two-dimensional games. This is one of the few times where it's actually 3D. And I love third-person shooters. It's probably one of my favorite. It's honestly one of my favorite genres next to third-person sword fighting games. So it's like seeing that we're gonna do essentially a Sony exclusive that's gonna do that. It's starting to show that roguelikes are a new genre. We're going to act in the same way we talk about shooters and racers, where it's like, yeah, death is no longer this, hey, press continue, or you died, Resident Evil. It's, hey, go back to this checkpoint and try it again. The benefit of that is it's replayable because every single time for people that don't know what roguelike is or what the fuck I'm talking about, oh, see you later, Mo. Enjoy Double Toasted or wherever you end up going.
Yeah, man.
But basically what roguelikes are is a very specific type of game in which as soon as you die, you get back to the start of the game. And you lose all your powers, and you're supposed to essentially usually gain some points to level your character up, but usually you start back. It's not like Dark Souls where you have to go to a bonfire and get your stuff back. No, you start from the start. With the central conceit of roguelikes is that you essentially have to beat the game in one shot without dying, which is extremely fucking difficult given the game.
But you have the option, like you could do it if you're good enough, which is also really cool. It's like, I mean, once again, like with games, having options is the best part about games, I think. Yeah. When they let you have them, Of
course. And the thing is, it's like, yes, the central conceit is you have to beat the game in one shot, but it also means that you technically can always beat the game in one shot. You just have to add your own skill, and the powers help. The powers can be, the powers are always additive, even though some might look like they're debuffs, but if you know how to use them properly, they're always additive. I'll go to Hades as one of the best roguelikes, where it's like every power there can be beneficial, but you can't use every power in the same way. It's not like everyone's like, increase attack power. It's like, no, this will give you more health, but it'll actually reduce your overall health. That's my favorite ones. Hey, you get regen health. We'll regen like your health consistently, but you lose half your health. So if you had 100 health, you have 50, but you keep getting 5 health as a regen. To me, I'll always take those because I need a regen health system versus more health,
Yeah. No, and I think that's a really, really cool concept, and I do think that game, if it has a nice multiplayer particular, thing of it, or a layer of multiplayer, that'd be fucking great. But even with single player, it's like, dude, that'd be great too to see something kind of go back to just the simple basics of just give me a good story, give me good characters, give me a great concept and a premise, and boom, we're good. And that might be the case. Returnal might be amazing, but the fact that it's slightly, in my own opinion, I know that probably people don't share this fucking thought process, but I do think it looks like Anthem, and I do think it's going to scare people off. If that happens, and this game doesn't do so well, I think that you can't blame the game fully because of that, because you got Destiny, you got Anthem, you got all these games that are kind of similar, and people might look at this and go, ugh, not again. Fuck that.
I think the benefit of it is... No, sorry, go ahead.
Another thing about like the whole like BioWare thing and Anthem being fucking gone finally is that apparently some other BioWare news, they're taking the multiplayer out of Dragon Age 2, the new one, which is an actual really fucking good thing because that multiplayer sucked ass.
I as a Dragon Age fan, I'd like to speak to all the Dragon Age fans and go, it had a multiplayer?
No, yeah, it did, and it didn't belong. It sucked ass. Like at least Mass Effect multiplayer is actually fun to play. Dragon Ages was dumb as shit and boring.
Yeah, no, because
I honestly literally have never played the Dragon Age multiplayer to the extent where when I heard Dragon Age had multiplayer, I assumed it was co-op.
Wow.
I was like, that makes sense. You get to play the playable person on your team, and your buddy gets to help you through the campaign. No, apparently, what the fuck was the multiplayer?
It was something where you worked with teams or whatever. I only played it for like a good 20 minutes because some kids started getting on mic and shit talking. I was just like, I'm out. It was different from the Mass Effect one, where it's just like it has to do with finding treasure chests and shit. From what I can remember, it wasn't good.
Yeah, it says over here that the next Dragon Age, which doesn't even have an official title release date, had previously been designed with a heavy multiplayer component. Heavy, wow. Said the people who asked not to be named because they were not authorized to speak to the press. In recent months, has transformed into a single-player-only game after EA was stunned by a recent multiplayer flop, which is obviously Anthem.
Wow. Oh my god. Anthem finally does something good in his entire career. It convinced EA to stop shoving multiplayer in every fucking game. I'm buying the next BioWare game. Only because... I can't believe Anthem did something good in its lifetime. It killed multiplayer for a Dragon Age game. That blows my mind. Because you could imagine, like, well, we're going to make a multiplayer. It's going to be like Anthem, another games as a service. Oh, we just lost, like, $500 million. Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, because I'm looking over here too. The diverging trajectories of 2 recent games changed the minds of Wilson and other executives at EA, according to the people. One was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a single-player game released in November 2019 that won critical acclaim and outperformed EA sales expectations, reaching more than 10 million players in its first 4 months. That's what a good game in general does to you guys. It's not that shit where you go over there, oh, live service, no give us money, and this will be great, we're going to fuck them this way. It's like, no, it's just a good story, and it's Star Wars, and it's different than the fucking movies. Simple. It's just good. I don't even like it,
because,
but
yeah. And I agree with you 100%. And I always think that a good game, because it's weird when you look at good movies, it's like, well, if it doesn't get the right press, or if it doesn't have the right actor, or if it doesn't get on the right streaming service, it fails. When it comes to video games, word of mouth will get you up there. Look at every indie game ever. Like, they don't need a fucking $1 billion in advertising. They're just good. Everyone's like, hey, best indie game of the year, and everyone fucking buys as a result. Video games have a weird, video game word of mouth is better than most other forms of media's word of mouth. Because, yeah, hey, I played it. Okay, cool. You get to play it too. Watch a stream, watch it, whatever. That's why video game streaming is such a big thing. But to see the fact that EA learned a lesson blows my mind, because it's like, I wish we had more time, because I would love to honestly talk about multiplayer games and just multiplayer mentalities. The multiplayer is not as lucrative as you think it is. But people look at a Warzone making $1 billion. Warzone made $1 billion because it was also called Call of Duty.
yeah.
I can name you 15 other battle royales that failed hard. But you just named the few ones that have succeeded. But that's what the greedy people look at. They look at the Fortnite and go, we want to make Fortnite money. We want to make Warzone money. The problem is, if you keep making Anthem money, you're going to have to shift towards, wow, Fallen Order. I'm surprised Fallen Order sold 10 million. That is fantastic for a video game.
Yeah, for a game that doesn't have multiplayer, it's really, really cool. Like I said, I'm not even a fan of that game. And keep in mind, it's like just like what you said with Warzone. It's like, yeah, it's Call of Duty Warzone. It's not Fallen Order. It's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
which helped. But again, also the game helped elevate that, because people are like, well, Star Wars, and especially this day and age, I don't know. Oh, it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
I actually like the game.
Good. I can guarantee Battlefront 2 didn't do that good.
It did.
Oh, it did. Okay,
But
shit.
it did really good at the start. But then the whole micro transactions and loot boxes killed it. But they want it back, where it's like people could basically every time it's been in the stores for free, people play it. So it's like it's getting people back in. But I think not Disney. I think EA realized, especially because the fact that they lost the fucking license. They're like, hey, if we made more games like Squadron and fucking Fallen Order, we probably could have kept the Star Wars license for another 10 years. But we just have to make multiplayer games and kill the brand. So we lost it, and it's like, we lost Star Wars money. And Disney's like, you lost Star Wars money? We made 3 garbage movies that made billions of dollars, and you lost on Star Wars. Like, they're probably laughing their asses off when they took that license.
Like, how the fuck did you guys mess this up?
Like, how do you lose How do you fail making Star Wars money? Even George Lucas made Star Wars money.
But really quick, Jet, do you feel like this whole thing with Dragon Age or whatever, do you think it's going to put, because, I mean, you being a person who's smart and has a brain and doesn't get into all the shit that, everyone's all into nowadays, you're not going to give a shit about the multiplayer thing, but do you think it might be pissing off some people where like, hey, I want to play with my friends. Now, I'm not buying this shit now. Like, what do you think this is doing for Dragon Age now, the hype?
Making it better. Not very many people even played that multiplayer. Like, if anyone's complaining about it, it's just, 5 people? Because the thing with that multiplayer was boring. It was not good. I don't think anyone will really care if it's gone. I mean, there'll probably be quite a few people, if they got rid of the multiplayer in Mass Effect. I can see a few people being mad because that one's actually fun. Yeah. But Dragon Age, no, that's not gonna ruffle anyone's feathers. And if they are, I mean, go fuck themselves.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, there's so much more here that we can read into too, guys. So, I mean, I do apologize.
They can literally make the single player so much better getting rid of that multiplayer, because they don't got to focus on that. They can literally focus on the story.
Yeah. Well, actually, to that exact mentality of trying to add multiplayer and try to fix it and try to make it better for the consoles is literally the reason for that the original creator for Dragon Age Origins just left, and why Dragon Age 2 was one of the most abysmal pieces of shit ever. Because EA's like, well, we need to sell this on consoles. You made a PC fucking game that is only really playable on PC because it's almost unplayable on the consoles. The sequel, we need to downscale it. We're going to give you a lower budget because we need this shit on consoles. And the creator said, fuck you, I'm out. I'm not doing this shit. And that game was the biggest piece of shit in the world. BioWare somehow managed to fucking take...
Hey, I like Dragon Age too.
See, you're on, Alan. You're on, Alan.
No, I'm not. I'm objectively right. I just can't believe my friend would disrespect me like this.
Well, I mean, like, what this does it look worse than Dragon Age 1? Yeah, I like the characters.
Yes.
But the thing is, I like the characters. I like the much faster combat.
Well, that was terrible.
I made it.
Can't
But I
believe
still had fun with it. I'm not saying it's the best, but like I had fun with it.
Every character death was the same. Whenever you would kill somebody and it would just explode into a mess, guy, girl, orc, whatever, had the same fucking death animation and had the same death models. Where literally you would kill a woman that's 6 feet tall and she'd explode into a bald dude.
That's fine. I have no problem with that. I wasn't paying attention to how people
I'm not gonna get into this because I can start going on a rant. By the way, the first 10 hours of the game, every level you unlock, that's it. You just spend the entire game recycling the same fucking levels with a different story. It's the same levels, the entire thing. You just repeat the exact same encounters until the game says it's over.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. Moving on though, we are gonna talk about this really quick thing. I just wanted to showcase just how much I love the fucking I'm not a big fan of platforming anymore because it's becoming way too hard for my fucking old brain to fucking handle these games.
Yeah, these games are made for children. Get your shit together.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, this looks so fucking beautiful. This is literally like, honestly, like, okay, and I don't know what the fuck. I'm gonna sound stupid right now, and it never happens. But when I first saw Mirror's Edge, I was like, that's gonna be fun. But like, that's not fun at all. That was fucking terrible.
So Nick, this has been the night of comparing these games to other games. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
This is a Sonic game. This is a 3D Sonic game, but actually looks
Prince
like it
of
has
Persia
good
maybe a
controls.
little bit. I don't know. There's
Not really,
combat.
because it's no. I mean, maybe the combat's a little bit, but I'm talking about like the fact that it's like, hey, you're jumping off of stuff. You're doing the whole like auto targeting to kind of jump there, and it's like the way you're just very floaty. This is a 3D Sonic game. Like it just isn't called that, and actually looks like it's good controls. But like even with the combat, it's very similar to how Sonic will kind of do a few slashes, especially with Sonic Unleashed. Like I was looking at this going, this is a 3D Sonic game.
Yeah, man. But
Actually, I actually can see how it's like Sonic, because like even the parts where they're climbing the walls, like in Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure games, Knuckles literally glides and climbs walls.
Yeah. So I can kind of see that too. I didn't think that at all at first. I mean, I literally just when you said that, I started thinking of that. So yeah, pretty cool eye as far as that goes, man. But like this too. Yeah, like being able to like, zoom fast, like right at the fucking clenching point.
Look, that's not a criticism. I actually think this looks kind of cool too. But like, it's one of those things where I'm not a huge fan of platformers either, because like at the end of it, it's like I want platforming to be a means to an end, not a gameplay. Where it's like, hey, I got a platform to get somewhere, but I actually want to like fight stuff, because this game doesn't seem like it's a fight game. It seems like a get to the closest encounter, but we're gonna give you melee so that you can deal with these guys quickly as you're just progressing through the level. I'm like, that's gonna be fun for some people. That's why I'm not interested in it.
It's a very jump in and out game, I think. Like. Yeah. I'm in the mood to do some crazy shit, and do that for 10 minutes, and then something, your update finishes on one of your 500 fucking gigabyte games, and you can fucking start watching that. So I totally get that, but like this is just kind of like the fact that I'm able to do this. Like I think I'm more impressed by just that someone can make this, because I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably not gonna play this. I'm not, I don't want to spend money on it. But like, if these guys keep doing things like this, why not have them work on Sonic? That'd be the shit. Or like have them work on something else.
Developers to work on it, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Like I think that I'm more impressed by the company. Like whoever did this, like I like you guys. I'm gonna start paying attention to whatever you guys do, because this is cool, and hopefully this becomes a big thing. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, unless you have anything else that you want to bring up that I missed, because sometimes I do be missing shit. And this is not gonna be a long discussion either, but I just want to put this out there that for any of you guys out there that are streaming that don't have content to touch on, or you don't have, characters on your show that can have discussions like these, and you want to get big really, really fast, you can just do the ninja thing and get on the new shit that's going to be huge. And this right here is the new Fortnite. I'm looking at this, dude, and I'm like, I can't wait for this to come out, not because I want to play it or because I want to be, have fun, but I guarantee you, this is going to be the new go-to that all the young people fucking play. And it's going to be fucking moms and dads that can't pronounce the shit right. Oh, it's Kick Out City. Like, whatever the fuck. It's going to be on news stations. And, man, I don't know. I feel like this is just the next trend.
This is the next graveyard stone for the games that want to be Overwatch / Fortnite, but failed and died because, they always do. Like,
It's
this is
the so cool.
I mean, honestly, I think it looks like shit, but that's just my personal opinion. But as far as it actually having its viability, I don't know because I didn't think Apex Legends was getting anywhere, and it did. At the end of the day, the only way to survive is not necessarily to look cool. Obviously, you can get people in the door. It's not to copy Fortnite. It's not to copy Overwatch. It's to be cool, but have a gimmick no one else has. I know there's a couple. I remember reading there's a couple of extra stuff that Apex Legends had that no one else had. I can't remember what it was because I'm not really familiar with it. But it being different, it having a new gimmick allowed it to be popular. Warzone wasn't just Fortnite. It gave you a respawn.
Well, when I say by the way, just because maybe someone else.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I think you got to refresh the chat.
There it goes. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I literally just checked a minute ago too, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. But anyways, really quick too though, because I want to make sure to refine whatever I'm saying because I feel like you think I mean like copy Fortnite in a sense of like what it looks like or the brightness, vibrancy of the characters. But no, like I think this is gonna be the next Fortnite in the sense of like that's what they call these games now. Like they're always saying like. I mean, like back in the day, it was like, "What's the next Call of Duty?" I'm like, "Well, hold on, Battlefield is not fucking Call of Duty." Like, but so don't insult Battlefield by calling it the next Call of Duty.
Oh no, I understand what you're getting for. It's not trying to replace it. It's not trying to be it. But it is trying to be like, hey, we're going to be that fast-paced multiplayer game to essentially compete in the same kind of category because those are fast-paced multiplayer, pick up and play, types of games. I think it's going to go. I honestly think it's going to go by the wayside, and what it surely depends on is it has to have something unique to it. Because I brought up Warzone because Warzone is a battle royale, but it gives you that extra, essentially the gulag. It gives you a chance to fight for your life. That chance to fight for your life makes it unique to any other battle royale. And as a result of that, it got me to buy the game because I wasn't going to play because I'm like, look, I don't want to sit there, spend half an hour running around the environment, get killed by some sniper. I'm not going to fucking do it. But then the gulag happened. I was like, my skill actually matters, which means I can get back. Sure, I'll probably die as soon as I land, but my skill actually allowed me to play the game more. So I'm like, that's a lot of fun. That again, that's probably one of the reasons that game's as popular as it is. With this, it's like it has to have some weird gimmick that no one else is doing for it to stand out. Because that's what allows it. It could easily be another Battle Bore or fucking 100 Overwatch clones that just never failed to do anything because it wasn't interesting. It was just like we're trying to be similar in visual style and hyper gameplay, but it has to. I don't know what it has to do, but it has to do something cool, and we'll see what happens in a couple months when it comes out.
So, Jet, what do you foresee for this game? Like, do you feel like this? I mean, do you agree with me in a sense of like this could be the next big thing, or, I mean, very simply put, do you think your sister will be into this?
I mean, there's been a lot of games that kind of had that Fortnite thing going on that basically came out. She tried them for a bit, but always went back to Fortnite. You know what they're missing?
What? Dancing?
They don't have enough. They don't have enough stolen dances.
I mean,
yeah,
probably.
That's probably true. That could be legitimately that could be a thing because people love those. I'm like, wow, I like to see Just Dance die like right in his face, but you motherfuckers are like, I can't wait to get the new dance when that V-Bucks.
People like dancing. They like moving their bodies, man. They like the music, like.
Yeah, but it's just like, well, dude, but like Just Dance died. It's like if people fucking like dancing, well, in comparison.
Okay.
I'm dramatic.
I know you're dramatic.
Yeah, Blasian, by the way, too, dude, I didn't even know this. Little side here. 2 years ago, because I was looking at like, okay, well, when did people stop making games for the old consoles? We still had a Just Dance sequel come out, like in 2019.
Actually, there's a reason for that.
Why? I'm so curious.
The actual reason where they still have games like that come out on the Wii is actually for retirement homes. Because they actually use those to have really people get their exercise.
Oh shit!
That's what I heard.
Yeah, because the Wii Motion, instead of using the controller and pressing buttons or the pad, because obviously not everyone can do that, they're doing their hands, which can count as cardio. But the funny thing about that is I remember that announcement, and I remember watching that with a friend, and I remember bursting out laughing when they announced it. And I was unconsolable for a minute, because what were the systems? The PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, Wii, and Switch. They skipped over the Wii U.
They didn't put it on the Wii U.
I fucking died. I couldn't believe it. It's like everything but the Wii U. And they're like, no, look back at the logo. It's not on the Wii U.
I cannot believe that, man. Wii U is the most disrespected console. I almost want to play it because of that.
You can. It's backwards compatible. So you can do it, but there's no Wii U version.
There's no reason to play Wii U if you got a Switch. Like,
I know, but it's funny that they skipped it.
But everyone's always talking shit about Wii U. It's like, for one, Wii U fucking ran so Nintendo Switch can do
the
its thing.
Switch is the better Wii U. Like, if you
Yeah.
still have a Wii U when you have a Switch, it's time to throw that Wii U in the garbage because like there's no reason to have it.
You guys are such dicks.
It was bulky and annoying to use. Like I did not like that system.
To be honest, you know what this shows? It means like this generation, it's the most cheating generation ever. The fact that someone like gained weight, had a kid, blah blah blah, and you guys just leave. Fucking Wii U was there from the fucking like early,
No,
like
it
in that whole
wasn't.
in that next war,
Look,
and it stayed there
look.
and it tried to entertain you motherfuckers, and y'all left.
No, it didn't. It actively didn't.
Screen controller.
You guys, are
You
fucked up,
you are
man.
right that the Wii U fell so that the Switch can run, but the problem is that was Nintendo essentially coming to grips with the fact that they had to add more visual fidelity to their games and go into the HD era, which they never did. Like the Wii U still had the fucking component cables. Like they had no idea what HDMI, Xbox Live, any of that shit was, and that was essentially them failing to be a console maker when that was essentially all they do. So when that failed, they're like, hey, we're going to take this, we're going to stick with our whole Go thing, but we're going to basically make it so that you can play contemporary games on there. And it allowed the Wii U to survive. That's the way she's right. The Switch is the better Wii U. Almost every single game on there, except for, Breath of the fucking Wild. Oh, no, Breath of the Wild is on it. Except for Wind Waker is literally on there. And it's like, it's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. There's no exclusives on there anymore. Every game that was ever trapped on there is on the Switch.
The main reason people got a Wii U was to play like Super Smash Brothers, but then it went over to the Switch, and then you got the much better version.
Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous too, because Ultimate came out so soon into the Switch's life. So
It was like almost like the first year or two. I want to say it was almost the second year, but like it was a situation where it's like, yeah, we have a new version of a better version. Like they put Pikmin on there, beautiful, Wonderful 101. I think is coming to the Switch at some point. So it's like every single exclusive that was ever tried there. Mario 3D World was the last
Tournament was another one I think they put on there.
Yeah. 3D World was the last one. 3D World was on the DS, so it was never truly on there. But it was the last game that was stuck on there. There's literally nothing left. They transferred everything, and that console has been dead for a while, but gravestone.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, but I wish that wasn't the case. But we're going to move off from gaming stuff and let's have one more topic before we get the fuck out of here. I'm going to be honest. I am seeing lots of reactions to this thing that I disagree with because I think people just kind of like overly, I don't know, they get overly nerdy and very cinephile-ish. Like, oh, this is not my perfect fucking thing. Army of the Dead.
Cartoon?
What is this?
The new Miku cartoon?
No, I don't know what the hell that is. But I'm looking at this, Army of the Dead. Basically, these zombies get inside Las Vegas and all craziness happens. Now, it's not supposed to be fucking super intense. It's not supposed to be gory. It's not supposed to be scary. It's not going to be the first ever time they do
Where's the
something like
Jesus
this.
though?
Huh?
Does Jesus himself come down? Where does Jesus come in and say we live in a society?
Oh, no shit, right? Oh my god. Like, how the fuck are people cool with that shit? Well, I mean, some people. I think some people are talking shit.
Look, again, at the end of the day, I like Zack Snyder's director, and Dawn of the Dead remake is a fantastic movie. I'll watch this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And by the way, it's like, I'm hearing people like, this looks like absolute trash. This is fucking garbage. This is the worst thing. That looks like a bunch of bullshit right there. And it's like, it's a zombie movie that was made halfway through a fucking pandemic. It's going straight to Netflix. It's Zack Snyder just being his crazy, simple, doo-doo butt self. Batista's in this. Were you expecting some, like, really, like, fucking gripping, emotional, like, fucking story here? It's Army of the Dead. It's silly.
We'll say this, at least it has color in it.
Yeah, and by the way, I'll at least say this, too. They got rid of Chris D'Elia, which is more I can say for any other movie that has people that are pedophiles or assholes, and they lead them in their movie. This fucking movie had half the goddamn thing made, and because Chris D'Elia got himself in trouble getting caught for talking to fucking like little girls and shit on Instagram, they got rid of him and reshot those scenes. So it's like, on top of it too, they got immoral. They're not pieces of shit behind the scenes when they make this. That's pretty nice.
I will say that's a pretty low bar.
That is, but at the end of it, it's like, look, the reason people are mad is because right now it's cool to hate. I hate to say this, but yeah, it's cool to hate on Zack Snyder, and anything Zack Snyder wants to touch or touches is like, well, he's the worst director ever because he made a bunch of shitty, superhero movies, and it's like, yeah, he's made bad movies. He's also made good movies. So it's like if this movie sucks, it's unfortunately he's made more bad movies than good. But right now he's pretty even as far as good to bad ratio, which is more than I can say to most directors. But it's like, yeah, he knows how to make action. And honestly, to me, it's like I look at it the same way as I look at Michael Bay. If I think of everything Michael Bay has done outside of Transformers, it's not bad. Six Underground, The Rock, what was that fucking Pain and Gain? I heard people liked everything that's not Transformers. People like. So I'm assuming it's gonna be everything that's not a superhero fucking movie with Zack Snyder. People like. So it's like this could easily be a good movie. It might be a piece of shit, but like this is up his alley. He doesn't have to sit there and tell a deep story. He just has a bunch of cool imagery, action, and gore. That's his entire wheelbarrow. Like this looks cool as hell, and I honestly can't wait to see it. I hope it has some good action.
Yeah, and I feel like it was because like here's the thing too. It's like okay, like if he's doing a comic book thing, which he is with Justice League, you can be like, oh, that's gonna be stupid because his track record doing those are fucking dumb. His track record of doing zombie shit is fucking phenomenal. He only did one, but oh my god, that's one of the best zombie movies fucking ever. You know what I mean? Like
if someone told me he's doing another fucking 300 movie, I'm already gonna give it up. Put it up by 18 tickets. Fuck it, everyone's going.
yeah,
18.
18.
You like
I don't give a shit.
you like the second 300 movie?
I'm the only one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Look, I get it, man. It's not the first one, but I lie.
But to be-
Dude, that opening cutscene is fantastic. Opening fucking fight scene is fantastic.
But really quick, just to be fair to the people who are like, because I know maybe there's a couple people watching right now or just have us in the background, like, man, I would go in there and say something, but he's wrong about Zack Snyder. Like, look, I still don't think we are wrong about Zack Snyder, but even Netflix, I feel like it's probably pissing people off. And they know what they're doing, because I took a screenshot of this, and this is the description.
Don't tell me.
A Zack Snyder film on Netflix, May 21. Is that your description? What the fuck?
Look,
Like-
it's better than the description for the small things or whatever the fuck that.
Oh, remember? Yeah, a cop and a guy go look for things.
Cool. That's a way to describe a movie.
That is one of my. You know what? I'm gonna see if they change it really quick. This is just a side. People,
I'm sure they did.
I gotta look at this one more time. I'm gonna go straight to IMDb. For those of you who didn't see this,
IMDb is terrible with updates, man. So like,
oh my
I don't know where you
God.
should. What?
Dude, they fucking changed it.
Of course they did. That was a placeholder.
Oh,
Yeah, they put a real
wow.
description. I don't even have to read that. That's a real description. It has more than 3 words. Oh no, they changed it for that movie too. Oh, that's amazing. I read that as Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, I am so fucking surprised.
Look. We did it during the review. You did do the screenshot, which we immortalize it forever. What it used to be.
I am so fucking shocked. That is
mean, dude,
amazing.
It's probably a placeholder one where usually when that placeholder description says guy goes to thing does stuff, just so we have a description, because I think you have to have a description for a movie so it's real, and then they're like, oh, we'll have the real description later on after the movie comes out.
That is so fucking funny, dude. I swear to God, I've never seen that shit. I've never seen that happen.
I've never
before.
seen it that fast because I never thought they would change it, but like when you showed me, I'm like, that can't be real.
Oh my God, yeah. Cause I'm looking for it in my whole thing over here. Oh, I found it. I found the one that I got. So here's the original, guys. It says 2 cops track down a serial killer.
I wish there was a timestamp for a date to that, but like, yeah, like that makes a lot of sense.
There is actually, yeah, like on mine.
Oh yeah, 29th of January. Yeah, there is a timestamp.
Yep.
So you could probably just do it immediately like what it was. So it's like, yeah, after like a month and a half, or a month actually. That makes a lot of sense. You do the placeholder one where it's like Gears of War, shoot things behind cover. Like that probably would be a placeholder description.
Oh, that's so fucking funny, dude. I love that so much. But yeah, man, I guess the last thing to really say about this, and plus I wanted to get somebody's reaction over here too. Jet, what are your thoughts on this? I know you're not a big fan of Zack Snyder right now. You don't like his shit, but like, are you down for him to do some zombie stuff?
At first I thought you said like Sonic stuff. I was just like,
I know I fucked up.
I don't know how the fuck he's gonna do that.
That'd
But,
be
Dude.
That'd be great. I literally any Sonic movie I'd be down for because of how good that other one was. But your thoughts on this though, Jet?
But no, like you guys said, like the other zombie movie that he did, like, is very well liked, and this one actually looked like it has color with it, and it looks like he's having fun with it. So I'll give it a chance.
I will say the other zombie movie that took place in Las Vegas was Resident Evil Extinction. So there's no way this could be worse than that. I will put that. I'll put money on that shit. I will gamble. There's no.
Who's gonna sit
way.
there and be like, yeah, that movie was fucking terrible. That's like the worst. That's almost the worst Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, I hate that fucking movie. But you know what I don't hate though, Alan?
Yeah.
I don't hate that you're doing so much stuff outside the chat tag. It's actually really cool because you're over there doing stuff with Sebastian, Sierra, whatever his name is. I forgot his last name. I think it's the last name is Sierra.
Yes,
But,
I literally came from that recording and then just jumped right into this one. So like without even a break, I'm so hungry.
yeah, so we're gonna be ending off. But you tell people on one of those platforms where you can be found when you're not doing this.
Oh, sure. People know I already do the Metropolis stuff, but yeah, check out the Metropolis. That's where we do apparently, I guess, Content Corner or whoever's talking about Anthem. Have fun with that fucking discussion. But yeah, there's video game stuff there as well, where they focus a little bit more on the politics and game, but they're also talking about Content Corner specifically. Just kind of goes in there with live streams as well as they're playing games. But yeah, drop a like there so you can get notification. We're doing Illuminati and stuff like that. And we are working on a reshuffle. That's why there's not going to be Illuminati for the next couple of weeks, because we're working on a reshuffling of just who's doing what and stuff that's going on in the background to try to fix the overall platform. But if you're curious to hear more about me talking about Spider-Man and random bullshit, I was on another podcast literally like an hour ago or an hour and a half ago where we talked about the Homecoming, or sorry, the new Spider-Man movie. We went in depth into the movies. I went to more in depth of why I actually don't like the MCU Spider-Man. So be sure to check that out. I did that with Sebastian and another one of his co-hosts whose name I can't pronounce. So I'll post a link to the page there. I'm sure it's going to be up in the next couple of days, so subscribe there, and you'll get a notification when it gets live.
Yeah, man. And so he's going to post a link there, and I'm going to show this. But I'm going to show a couple of things really quick because I want the fact that he had you on everything, too, I want to make sure to get the word out there that this guy's pretty cool. He has good taste, apparently. So this site is the one, I believe, or this channel is the one that you're going to be doing the review on. So I guess most of this is in a different language, blah, blah. But he also has the Seba Show. So this over here, too. You got two of these channels. He's building both of them up. I believe this one's doing a little bit better, but at the same time, like, he does lots and lots of content. Always responding or reviewing, like, K-pop stuff, too. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So definitely check his stuff out. He seems like a cool dude. And, yeah, with that said, we're going to get the fuck out of here. So let me know who you guys want me to raid as I play this music and everything. And I should have been actually preparing that shit while you were talking, Alan, but I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, Anyway, here we go.
Raid. Oh, I was going to say no one else is on. None of our usuals are on.
We'll raid Mr. Oh, no, he's not even on, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, he's not even on.
I guess we'll just fade into the darkness.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll fade in darkness. That'll be fine. So, with that said, guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us for as long as you have. Goodbye. Stay toasty. Tap the chat. All that good stuff. Bye-bye.
Hatsune Miku and